Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be talking about 2015. We are getting ready to close the book on this year. I mean, it's very soon. It'll be 2016. And I just thought it would be fun to kind of talk about 2015 as a whole, and sort of talk about what happened with regards to my goal for 2016. Or, sorry, for my goal for 2015. I do have goals for 2016, but I'm going to talk about them in a separate video because I have a lot of them. For 2015, I had one goal. For 2016, I think I'm up to like 12 or 15. I don't know. It's a lot. I've got a list. So I'll go over that later. But for 2015, my goal was to be more organized. So how did I do? I think I did pretty well. I think all things considering, I did pretty darn good. If you've been watching my videos for a while, I've talked about it a little bit before, and if you watch the 2015 goal video, which I'll put a link in the description bar, I was dealing with some bad stuff. My dad, at the end of the year, my dad was in the hospital still, and he had ended up there, and he was in there for like 3 weeks. And he had to have really like super scary surgery, and there was a long kind of recovery period, and and all that was on the heels of my aunt passing away earlier in December, and then my uncle passing away a couple of months before that, and it was a lot for one person to handle, but so I think when I set that goal, I really was just like, I just need to get stuff done and be organized about it. And that is all I had the mental energy to even think about what was going to happen for the next year. So did it go okay? I think it did. I think that I think I was able to turn around some bad stuff and turn it into more, like, I don't know, I was just able to take that bad and not let it become the entirety of the year. Maybe that's the best way to put it. It did take way longer to get back to normal, to get to a normal schedule, a normal routine, but I did eventually get there. So, yes. After all of that happened with my dad, then one of my best friends had a really bad situation that she was dealing with, and I was helping her out with that. And then my mom also got sick and was in the hospital, and that was like February, March. So basically winter, the earlier winter, it's not really been winter here so far. We've had like no snow. But so the winter of 2015 was just crap. It was just craptastic. And I would not wish it on anyone. I mean, no one, because it was just bad. And then, of course, dealing with it as a human who is not perfect. And, I'm a little sensitive. And so I think that it was just very overwhelming for me. So that meant that my schedule, my energy, and everything was it was thrown off. And it took me, and really until the summer, to kind of get back into a groove. And once I did, things have been really great, but it just took a while to get there. What helped me is that I started doing bullet journaling, and I will be continuing doing that for 2016 as well. This was a new to me journaling diary calendar technique, and basically what it is like I did the traditional, like, I guess the original format. That's how I started, and I will be tweaking some stuff for next year, but that's what I did for this year. And So what it is you have like your monthly page, and then you write down like your any important dates. Then you have your monthly goals, and then you go and you do your weekly lists. So you have like a list of tasks that you need to get done, or you know, appointments or whatever. And then as the day goes on, you know, you either like check them off, or you have to move them to another day, or cancel them, or whatever. And that's what I did. That was really, really beneficial when I was going through the worst of it, because I would write down every single thing I needed to get done, because I was having a hard time really even getting out of bed. Some days, most days for a while, I would write down, like, get up, brush my teeth, take a shower, put on real clothes, don't wear your pajamas all day, you know, stuff like that. Like, I would write it down, very specifically, very detailed, but I was able to check them off, and this system really helped for that. And I guess I could have just made a list, but it made me feel like I was getting something accomplished. But once I did get back to me, I, you know, was able to keep track of all of the different things that I was doing, you know, because at some point I was only doing like the bare essentials. But once I had like my ability to kind of do more than one thing, I was able to keep track of everything. Before that, I had stuff separated. So like I had 3 major categories that I kept everything in. So there was like the main one, which is like, you know, appointments and stuff like that. And then the other one was more like work related. And then the other one was more like personal stuff. And that didn't really work. It stopped working. So this way I was able to integrate all of those tasks into one major list for the day, which is great. That's the great thing about bullet journaling, really. I mean, you know, and of course it's customizable. So that was great. I really enjoyed the process of keeping a bullet journal. I'm gonna stop doing that. I really enjoyed the process of keeping a bullet journal. I wasn't perfect with it. I did not keep track of things every single day, and there was a little bit where, I mean, I think there was actually like 1 month that I think I made the monthly page and the monthly goal page, and I don't know if I actually ever put a daily page in. I'd have to go and check, but I'm pretty sure that it was in the midst of everything, and I just didn't. But I knew it was there in the back of my mind. I knew it was there, and my monthly goals were written down, but yeah. It was what it was. So it kept me on track with kind of keeping my life more organized. I mentioned in the last year video that I wanted to give myself more of like a set schedule, and I've done that a little bit. I have not perfected that part yet. I think that that's really going to take, it may take me like the entirety of 2016 to figure that out, but, and of course it's like, it's always going to be changing, right, because there's always different things that's happening, but I just really, you know, I'm working on it. I have a tentative schedule, but it's not as, it doesn't, there's more variation than I would like. I guess that's the best way to say. But that's something that I'm working on, and I definitely think that as time goes on, it will improve. I think part of the reason that it didn't get, you know, sort of all finalized or more finalized is just because I spent the first half of the year dealing with what had happened, you know. So that's life, right? So I think that's okay. As for the rest of my life, did I become more organized? I think so. I really do. I started going through my house and decluttering and straightening things and sort of reorganizing stuff. Over on Ravelry, there are message boards and forums and groups and whatever, and I took part in a couple of threads. I don't know if I did it. I can't remember if I did it for 2 or 3 months, but they were monthly decluttering challenges, and I worked on those. And while I didn't do exactly the way that the official rules were, a lot of people were kind of just doing what they needed to do for themselves and what would work for their lives and stuff. So we kind of just set goals and then tried to meet them, and they weren't all the same. So I participated in those for 2 or 3 months, and that really, really helped. So what ended up happening is I just started going through stuff. I would open up my closets and be like, okay, so we're going to tackle the hall closet today. The hall closet took more than a day. I'll just go ahead and just tell you that. It's still not even 100% perfect. I need to get like, we've got duvets, like, and they're big and fluffy and they're great, but trying to fold them in a way in which doesn't look like a big old mess is not easy. I mean, you can fold them and they will, they look fine, but then when you put them in the closet, they just kind of like fall over and whatever. So I think I'm gonna get like either some bins or like some kind of like zipper bag contraption. I don't know. I'm gonna work something out about that. But I made sure that like we had the number of towels that we needed, and I actually ended up replacing some towels. I got rid of the other ones and got some new ones, and because we hadn't bought new towels in, I don't know, a lot of years. So some of them were just a little ragged, and so I bought new ones. And what else did we do? That's where we keep that closet's where we keep our old paints, and we opened that up, and some of it was bad. So we dried that out and got rid of it. You can't throw away wet paint, like liquid paints. You can't throw that away. You have to let it dry. There is an additive you can put in the paint, and it will dry it up quicker than letting it just sit out. So that's an option. And our county has like, I think 1 or 2 days a year where you can take those things that you're not allowed to throw away, like batteries, some appliances like refrigerators and stuff with Freon in them, things like that. So you can do that too if if that's near enough, and if your county has that. I don't know if it's our county or our city that does that, but I feel like it's at the county park, so that's probably what I'm thinking, the county. Anyway, so I did that. I went through our clothes and got rid of some excess clothes. I refolded everything, put everything nice and neat into the drawers and, on the shelves and stuff, and just kind of reorganized that. What else did I do? I just kind of like picked one thing I was going to work on, and I worked on it until I was done, and then I would move on to the next thing. And I've done most of the house, which has been awesome. There are a couple of areas that I still need to finish. The guest room is the big one. I did not really touch the guest room. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of the extra stuff is. We've got like under the bed storage stuff in there. And I mean, I think like I've got my prom dress from high school. I think it's in there. Like, I'm not going to wear it again. I don't know what's up with that. But I've got stuff like that I need to like pull out and make a decision about. So with the stuff that I, was sorting and decluttering and all of that, it either got thrown away if it was, broken, or donated, either to like, because you can donate like your towels and stuff to animal shelters. They always need towels. You should probably call just to make sure, but they do, or rescue centers or whatever you want to do. And then, of course, like the good stuff, like I had a printer that was just old, but it worked. And I took it to the donation center along with a bunch of other stuff. So that was nice. It was really, really nice to just kind of get it out of the house. Like I got rid of a bunch of books and DVDs that, just stuff that we just had in the house that we were never going to, like, we just didn't want, but we just hadn't got rid of. So we did that. When it came to crafting and things like that, I did try to be more organized with how I was going to, like, with what projects I was going to do next. My Ravelry Q stash situation is not where I want it to be. That's a goal for 2016. But I did try to utilize it a bit more. It's a great resource. So I did try my hardest to, to kind of make the best use of those resources that I could. I did reorganize my yarn. I have a lot. More than I did at the end of last year, for sure. So I have reorganized all of that. My craft closet is, it's mostly organized. I do have a couple little areas that I need to work on. Basically, and it's not really that I have a lot of extra stuff in there. It just needs a little bit of reorganization. I've got a drawer unit that sits right down here, and then there's a drawer unit that's in the closet, and I just need to make sure that I have like things with like. The one in the one in the closet is pretty good. It's just I've had some new stuff that I've added in there, and I'm just wondering if maybe I can reorganize it. But it's pretty well organized. The one in here is not. I know for a fact that I have markers in 4 of the 6 drawers. It is what it is. I just haven't taken the time to organize that. So that's a thing that will be happening. Maybe I can get that done before the end of the year. I could probably do that. I could do that today. That wouldn't be too bad. So I've tried to, get that done. So this room, I did I redid it a little bit. I added a desk. So as you guys have noticed, my filming locations have kind of changed over the year because I got a new computer. Because my old one was dying. Like when I tried to save a video file, it was just like, no, I can't do it. And so I got a new computer, and we didn't get rid of the old one. It's fine for everything except like trying to save, high def video. It's a good computer. It just wasn't built to do that. So I had to get one that had more stuff that, that you need for when you're doing that, if you don't want blue screens. Because of that, we had to reorganize the room because just the layout and stuff. One day I'm going to do a room tour so you can see what I'm talking about, but we couldn't lay out the computers the way we had because of the window on the wall, and so I had to get another desk, and so I moved to this wall where I used to be over there, and this is actually a new filming setup today. Whatever. But I'm just trying, it's a little bit of an evolution. I'm trying to find the best way to kind of handle all of that, and definitely I am more productive over on this side of the room. I have a bigger area, and I've been relatively good at keeping my desk clean. Better than like I have done in the past, for sure. It's, right now there's like, I've got stuff out for taxes, and I'm trying to be more organized about that too. So, there's some stuff on the desk, but nowhere, like, not messy. It's just more, I'm in the midst of a bunch of stuff, so it's just there, So I really, really think that I did overall a good job. I am perfectly willing to admit that I did not do like a perfect job of being more organized. I obviously did not reorganize everything because I still have stuff I left to do. But I think that I spent this year really trying to streamline things and um, get our lives in more of an order, get my life in more of an order, and our house in more of an order. And I did that. The status of where we are now, like what's happening now and what was happening in January 1st, way different. Way different. I mean, it's just so much better. And I am really excited about that. Okay, well, I have been talking for so long now, so I'm gonna go. Please, 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 please let me know how your 2015 was. I would love to hear about it. And I'll have a video up probably tomorrow about my goals for 2016. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're subscribed and all that good stuff so you can see it. And yeah, let me know what your goal was for 2015 or your goals were for 2015 and how you think you did. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye!